Today I present for your consideration the 2018 budget proposal for DuPage County government. Thanks to our finance team, which is comprised of Paul Fickner, Chief Financial Officer Paul Rafek, and the Finance Department staff. This has been an exceedingly difficult year, and I thank you for your diligence throughout this painstaking process. Thank you to the county board members who've taken part in the budget planning. All of you have had some role. I want to particularly point out Vice Chairman Jim Zay, who's been an active partner throughout the whole deliberation, weeks and months of discussion, bringing his wisdom and experience as we craft our yearly spending plan. I'd also like to express my gratitude to my fellow county-wide elected officials. You sharpened your pencils, carefully examined revenue and spending, and offered suggestions along the way, always looking for savings. I really appreciate the sense of public service and dedication that you brought to this exercise and the job that you do each and every day. Just to give you some context, for the first time in more than 2 years, we have a state budget, right? Last year and the year before, we put together our spending plan without knowing how or if the state would fund various programs. For 2018, the legislature has spoken, and the results had a definite impact on our ability to present a balanced budget here today. But as you can see, our budget is balanced, and our proposed property tax rate remains flat for the 10th year in a row in DuPage County. Now, why is that significant? Well, the short answer is, as they crafted the state budget, legislators sliced away millions in revenue that traditionally came to the counties. They are now, the legislature, the state of Illinois government, is now keeping 10% of the local government distributive fund that historically went to counties. Additionally, we've seen significant reductions in our share of the RTA sales tax and personal property replacement tax revenues. This represents a total revenue loss of $2.7 million. This year's budget features reductions that come as an immediate result of that loss. Not long ago, you heard Winnebago County Chairman Frank Haney stand where I am today and implore DuPage to continue to lead the state. Chairman Haney applauded us for being the county which originated the concepts of accountability, consolidation, and transparency, our ACT initiative. A few weeks later, Governor Bruce Rauner came to DuPage County to sign Senate Bill 3. That legislation extends the ability of counties throughout Illinois to dissolve some units of local government, just as we have done. We believe fewer local units of government mean a lower property tax burden for our residents. And here in DuPage, since I've been chairman, we've made consistent, successful efforts to lead by example, reducing the size, scope, and cost of local government. We returned $36 million to the taxpayers' pockets last year when the quarter-cent sales tax supporting the DuPage Water Commission sunset. We've dissolved 4 units of local government with another 2 on the way. Now, as we contemplate this equation of reduced revenue and rising expenses, we will once again apply the same fiscal rigor to our own budget that we have asked others to exercise. This year, our spending proposal comes in at $439.6 million, which is a slight increase. You're scratching your head, say, how can that be? That increase is primarily due to our project to retrofit the former youth home to become the new home for DuCom. But as you know, the number we are truly concerned about, the number that is relevant here, is our general revenue fund, which is dependent on property and sales tax revenues. That general revenue fund, that is where the $2.7 million kept by the state hits the hardest. The general revenue fund, or GRF, is where we get the money to fund our most vital services, including public safety, our subsidy for the DuPage Care Center, and other critical components of county government. Each year that I've been chairman, we have worked diligently to reduce expenses and decrease the budget so we can continue to meet service obligations without asking the taxpayers of DuPage County for a single penny more. But due to the state reductions, we are now far beyond simple belt tightening. We worked very hard to keep GRF programs stable. In fiscal 2018, they are funded at $176.9 million, which is down only slightly over last year. But that effort was excruciatingly difficult, believe me. There is a limit to how much we can cut without threatening our ability to fulfill our mission. After 7 years of absorbing reductions and providing prudent fiscal management, we may be reaching a point where we simply can't cut anymore. After careful, agonizing deliberation, we've asked our partners in county government to share in this sacrifice. In fiscal year 2018, we are asking all countywide offices and all departments to make reductions to maintain balance. I'm giving department heads some latitude in implementing these reductions. We set the mark and expect each to meet it. However, please let me be clear, we as a county will continue to do more with less across the board. The largest single area of cost to all government entities is personnel. The full-time budgeted headcount is 2,206 for fiscal year 2018 as compared to 2,270 when I took office 7 years ago. This headcount may be revised depending on where department heads choose to implement their reductions. I want to remind everyone that we have already made significant reforms to employee benefits. And please note, in a year when skyrocketing health care costs are dominating the news, here in DuPage, we have managed health care costs prudently so that increases for fiscal year 2018 are rather minimal. Our county employees participate in the program, the health care program, which offers a 80-20 split for insurance premiums, which achieves our stated 5-year goal, a goal that we set out 5 years ago, and this mirrors similar policies in the private sector, 80-20. As we look to the expenditures, we must deploy resources to impact some of the most difficult issues facing not just our county, but our nation. Perhaps the most heartbreaking is the issue of our nation's skyrocketing rate of heroin and opioid addiction and death. Last year, heroin and opioid overdoses took 78 lives in DuPage County. In the fight against heroin and opioid use and abuse and addiction, we know there is no silver bullet, no one-size-fits-all solution. It is complicated. Even more challenging is that as soon as we begin to get a handle on heroin overdoses, fentanyl, an even deadlier drug, is now pushing the death toll higher. Drug deaths involving fentanyl more than doubled last year. As this crisis morphs into a more medically complex issue, it is my recommendation we take advantage of the expertise on this campus and move the Heroin Coalition under the auspices of the DuPage County Health Department. I believe we will most efficiently leverage the money we invest. With the federal, state, and local grant funds the health department can attract in the area of disease prevention and treatment due to their status as healthcare providers. In fact, just last week, our health department was awarded a federal grant of about $1.6 million over 4 years in support of its groundbreaking Narcan program, which has saved more than 300 lives since its inception 3 years ago. Health Department Executive Director Karen Ayala will continue to ensure that the Heroin Coalition is the DuPage County-wide committee dedicated to fighting the scourge of heroin. But our collaboration won't stop there. In conjunction with Health and Human Services Chairman Bob Larson, I propose the county and health department work together to provide medication-assisted drug treatment to people convicted of certain heroin-related offenses who can be diverted from the jail system. This project would coincide with the merger of the county's Psychological Services Division with the Health Department's Behavioral Health Group. Merging these two divisions allows us the use of existing health department financial processes to bill for services, saving money and more efficiently providing treatment for those in need. As a result, This move will, number one, provide additional revenue through Medicaid reimbursement that will reduce the burden on the county general fund, saving us conservatively more than $250,000 within 2 years. Two, it'll streamline the implementation of a medication-assisted treatment program under a single entity, eliminating the need to develop data, sharing processes, and protocols between two organizations. Three, increases overall capacity of the health department by adding highly experienced substance abuse and behavioral health clinicians. And four, it'll utilize the health department's trained staff to process Medicaid billings. The one familiar refrain in the world of substance abuse and behavioral health is the fact that our citizens need more affordable, accessible treatment. This on-campus consolidation builds capacity and leads to an affordable, sustainable service model impacting those that are most in need. There are many who need help in our county. That's why in this year of reductions and a search for efficiency, I propose to maintain an established practice of funding our Human Services Grant Fund at $1 million. After 2 years of severe state reductions and an uncertain future in federal funding, I remain committed to maintaining our social service safety net, protecting DuPage's most vulnerable residents. There's often discussion about whether we should even continue the grant fund, so let me address those concerns head on. Before awarding a grant, our staff follows a comprehensive vetting process that examines each nonprofit applicant's impact on the community and their financial health. Nonprofit organizations that receive this grant funding use that good housekeeping seal, if you will, to leverage donations and volunteers across the county. In fact, last year, nearly 90,000 residents received services funded by our Human Services Grant Fund. That comes to only $11 of county support per person served. I don't know how much more effectively those funds could possibly be utilized. If we don't make this small investment, we believe we'll pay far more down the road. When we talk about our passion for efficiency and effectiveness, there are a few accomplishments of FY27 I'd like to highlight. Renovations are moving right along at the former DuPage Youth Home as we revamp that space to house the consolidated DuCom emergency dispatch system. Bringing DuCom here on campus provides emergency dispatchers optimal space, allows our emergency management services to share resources, and provides the county yearly rental revenue for space that was previously vacant. Last year I told you about the DuPage Neighborhood Revitalization Program. Well, thanks to the leadership of Development Committee Chairman Sam Tornatore, this initiative improves our unincorporated area neighborhoods by ridding them of dangerous, unsafe, abandoned, or uncompleted buildings when their owners refuse to or neglect to do so. The great news is that Member Tornatore helped us leverage county dollars, and we received a state grant totaling $250,000 to assist in this effort. To date, we have alerted 21 property owners of our intent to proceed with cleanups. 13 of those owners have already brought their properties into compliance. Another 5 voluntarily demolished their properties. The remaining properties are in various stages of cleanup or sale. I want to congratulate Sam Tornatore and our building department for making a significant impact in these neighborhoods. When we talk about impact, there are a few projects that will have greater economic impact. There are a few projects that will have greater economic impact than the Elgin-O'Hare Western Access Tollway. In just a few weeks, we're going to cut a ribbon on the newly completed portion of the highway that runs from Interstate 290 to Route 83. The total estimated cost for Elgin-O'Hare Western Access is $3.4 billion. I believe we will ultimately access O'Hare from the western side of the airport, and Elgin-O'Hare is a vital component toward achieving that goal. This is the type of progress that motivates me. I mentioned earlier that Governor Rauner signed Senate Bill 3, which extends the ability to dissolve local government agencies throughout Illinois. They took our experiences here in DuPage and replicated that ability throughout Illinois. We are thrilled to be a model. Earlier this month, we signed an intergovernmental agreement with the Highland Hills Sanitary District, which will transfer its water service to DuPage County. By an overwhelming margin, those residents asked the county to take over and provide Lake Michigan water to their homes, thus moving them off of well water. If all goes as planned, in the first quarter of 2018, those residents will enjoy better service, have Lake Michigan water, and ultimately pay less for water and sanitary service than they would have if we had stuck with the status quo. My hat is off to our county staff, Nick Kottmeyer and Chad Schaefer, who worked tirelessly through this process with the residents. And for the leadership on the Public Works Committee provided by Chairman Jim Healy, and on the Water Commission from Chairman Jim Zay. And we have other examples demonstrating the positive difference county programs make to our taxpayers. This year, 23 families will no longer worry about their homes flooding every time it rains. Our stormwater management staff has completed buyouts using HUD and FEMA funds, with another 7 buyouts planned before the end of this calendar year. This program makes a huge improvement in the quality of these families' lives. The next time you recycle an old laptop, a TV, or a computer monitor, you can easily, quickly, and for low or no cost at all at one of our now permanent electronic recycling centers. I want to thank DuPage County Environmental Division and our team of lobbyists who fought to keep that program from state cuts. Next, through Choose DuPage, we are working with the Village of Glen Ellen and the College of DuPage to establish Innovation DuPage. How do you like that? Innovation DuPage, a new business incubator and accelerator that will connect small businesses, entrepreneurs, and startups with the resources they need to grow and thrive right here in DuPage County. I'd like to thank Village President Diane McGinley and her council for their enlightened leadership and the exciting approach to helping start up businesses in conjunction with COD. I want to thank the leadership at College of DuPage for their warm embrace of this project and this effort. Choose DuPage will also lead our participation in the new Chicago Regional Growth Corporation. This group is playing an important role in developing Chicago and the Collier County's bid to attract the second Amazon headquarters, as well as serving as a regional economic development collaborative, increasing international trade and bringing jobs to our region. And finally, in 2018, we will take advantage of a newly passed law in Illinois allowing counties and municipalities to establish low-cost, low-term funding for commercial clean energy projects. We seek to be one of the first Illinois counties to participate in this nationwide initiative that facilitates long-term investments in green capital projects benefiting both the environment and our business community. I know over the next few months there'll be a great deal of discussion about this proposal, the leanest one that I've proposed to date. In fact, we will be entering into discussion soon about workers' comp and tort settlement costs and our efforts to clear up those cases. Our spending in these areas will increase in the short term, but we will be clearing a large number of cases and getting them off the books in the longer term. To sum up, we have plenty of opportunities and challenges, no doubt. I'm proud of our efforts. I'm fortunate, most fortunate, to work with each of you as we provide our residents with a healthy environment, great schools, excellent business climate, and safe communities that continue to draw new residents from all over the world. Together, we will face our challenges head on and plan thoughtfully for DuPage County's bright future. Thank you.